Red or black? Chapter 1: Opportunity. Raviolo is a former magician who turned to computers after a botched performance cost the world their life. He now works as a single-minded professional white-hat hacker as well as an expert in CS and web development. His worker, Vidya Bjornsson, is a bartender at the facility's theater. He is currently preparing Raviolo a Mai Tai and some other drinks, and takes it to Raviolo and his team who were playing a game of Rishi Mahjong. "You shouldn't have played that white dragon tile," Raviolo tells Stella, taking it for a Khan. As Raviolo sips his Mai Tai, his phone vibrates. A secure message flashes on the screen, marked with an unusual encryption signature, one he hasn't seen in a long time. He decrypts it effortlessly, revealing a letter from Dr. Gamma. "Raviolo, I assume you've heard about the incident. Dr. Phi has gone rogue. That dragon robot was the final straw, he's no longer following the plan. I won't pretend we're allies, but this situation is bad for both of us. I propose a 10-day truce. No tricks, no sabotage. I need time to deal with him before he takes us both down. He'll be hosting the next game at an undisclosed location. Let's just say you already know the place. If you're interested, pick a color. Red or black?" Dr. Gamma. The message is unsigned, save for the final cryptic question, red or black. Raviolo's fingers hover over the screen. His team watches, sensing the shift in the air. The drinks, the Rishi game, the theater, all momentarily fade into the background. This isn't just a game. It's a trap, a challenge, or maybe something worse. But if Dr. Phi is as unpredictable as this message suggests, ignoring it might be just as dangerous as accepting. Later, Raviolo is alone in his office, the glow of multiple monitors reflecting off his face. His team had left for the night, but he stayed behind, rereading Dr. S' message. The question lingers, red or black? He knows this isn't just a color choice, it's a test. A commitment. Selecting one could determine his role in the game, his alliances, or even his odds of survival. But there's no context, no rules. Just a blind decision. Raviolo hesitates, then types his response, red. He encrypts the message and sends it back through the same channel. Almost instantly, his system detects an incoming file, an automated confirmation. The file decrypts into a video feed. A masked figure, likely Dr. Gamma, appears in silhouette. "You've made your choice. Your participation is now official. In 72 hours, you will receive your first directive. Do not attempt to contact me. Do not discuss this with anyone." The game has already begun. The feed cuts out. A second message arrives, this time with an address and a single warning, "Come alone." Raviolo lands at Heathrow Airport, passing through customs with minimal trouble. He's no stranger to international travel, but this trip carries a weight he can't shake. He checks into a high-end but discreet hotel in central London, possibly near the Thames, keeping a low profile. He rides the eye, taking in the view, reflecting on how cities like this hide secrets behind their grandeur. The history of executions and betrayals amuses him. After all, he's walking into a game of life and death. A classic tourist stop at Elizabeth, but Raviolo isn't here for photos. Maybe he picks up on small details, security patterns, hidden cameras, his hacker instincts never fully turning off. Perhaps he stumbles upon a street magician, a subtle nod to his past, but he keeps walking. For days before the game, Raviolo cracks the hidden message and reveals the location, Wembley Arena. He visits the arena during an unrelated event, scoping out potential entry points and hidden surveillance. Back in his hotel room, Raviolo prepares. He doesn't know exactly what's coming, but he's been in enough high-stakes situations to trust his instincts. A final message arrives, confirming his entry time into Wembley Arena. The game officially begins tomorrow. Chapter 2, the first game. 1,000 contestants, including Raviolo, enter Wembley Arena, now an ominous game stage. The energy is tense, the air thick with uncertainty. Dr. Phi emerges. Contestants, he began. Do you feel lucky? A massive screen lights up, displaying an extravagant stunt about to unfold, featuring two competitors, one dressed in red, the other in black. Contestants physically take a seat in one of two special stands, one for red, one for black. Raviolo chose red. As soon as they sit, mechanical restraints lock them in place. No turning back now. The crowd watches the stunt play out. Maybe it's a race, a fight, or an acrobatic challenge. The competitors are on motorcycles, trying to clear the bar. It's the high jump. Red makes it up, then black. The bar is then raised a few centimeters. The competitors keep doing this, and the bar keeps raising, until... What's this? Black barely touches the bar and crashes down, in style. Red has won. The 500 correct guesses are unchained, escorted out and handed fortune cookies. Just as the 500 who chose correctly breathe a sigh of relief, a massive explosion erupts inside Wembley Arena. The blast engulfs those still chained to their seats, severing them instantly. The sheer force of the explosion sends shockwaves through the arena, knocking down players who had just barely survived. Raviolo feels the hot wind of death rush past him. The 500 remaining contestants break open their fortune cookies. However, only 256 of them are special, the rest signal elimination. The eliminated players walk out, unharmed. That's a relief. Half contain a red slip, half a black slip. This is their final fate for the round. The winning color advances to the next game. The others? Shot on sight. Only 128 contestants remain. Raviolo has survived, but at what cost? The explosion haunts him, a brutal reminder that this is no ordinary game, and it may or may not also be his last. The survivors of the first brutal rounds are escorted onto blacked-out buses, destination unknown. The ride is silent, no one dares to speak, knowing that every stop is another chance to die. The buses finally pull up in front of an unassuming pub in London, its sign flickering, England's glory. It looks abandoned, yet the doors swing open on their own. A cold gust of air greets them, carrying the scent of old beer and dust. Inside, the pub is what you'd expect from a normal British pub. It had wooden floorboards creaking underfoot, walls lined with old photos, dartboards, vintage ale posters, etc. But something feels off. Everyone takes a seat at one of 128 chairs colored red or black. Raviolo grudgingly went for the last open seat, the red one. Then, the floor shifts. Before anyone can react, metal clamps shoot out from beneath the seats and lock everyone in place. The entire pub descends underground, revealing a massive industrial death arena. This is no ordinary bar. England's glory is a disguise. Dr. S. voice crackles over unseen speakers. Welcome to my ejector seat. A simple game of knowledge. And gravity. Your fate is in your own hands, if you're smart enough to keep it. The contestants find themselves in a circular formation, each strapped into a mechanical ejector seat. Above them? A massive stained glass ceiling, its once beautiful artwork depicting British victories in history. Their seats face a gigantic screen, where questions begin flashing. Contestants must press their buzzer and answer correctly within 3 seconds. A correct answer decreases the ejection pressure for their team. A wrong answer or failure to respond. The seat locks tighter and pressure builds. The first team to reach 25 correct answers wins. The losing team? Gone. As the quiz progresses, tensions rise. Some players frantically hit their buzzers too soon, answering incorrectly. Others hesitate and lose their chance and their lives. A countdown appears on the screen. 5. The losing team's seats rattle. 4. The restraints tighten. 3. The red and black stare at each other, silent prayers in their eyes. 2. A metallic click echoes through the chamber. 1. Boom. The trapdoor mechanism activates. The black team's chairs launch straight up, smashing through the stained glass dome of England's glory. The night sky swallows their screams as their bodies disappear into the London skyline. Yes, it is currently midnight o'clock. Aftermath. The remaining 64 contestants sit in stunned silence. They've survived, this time. As the restraints release, Raviolo rubs his wrists, staring at the gaping hole in the ceiling where the others used to be. He barely knew them, yet their deaths feel like a glimpse into his own future. Dr. S. voice returns, amused. Well done. You've earned your next drink. Chapter 3. Taste the Fear. The 64 remaining contestants step outside England's glory and find themselves facing a long banquet table, styled like a billiard table. Neatly arranged in front of them are small platters labeled food and drink. Raviolo hesitates. The setup is too clean, too deliberate. Dr. Phi emerges from the building. Congratulations, survivors. You must be starving. So, let's play a little game of chance. Your meal has been pre-selected for you. Enjoy. If you dare. The contestants take their seats, each faced with 2 items, a small jelly dessert, either red or black. A matching drink, a red can of raspberry soda or a black can of cola. Raviolo eyes his plate, black jelly, black soda. Others around him have opposite color sets, but no one reacts. No one knows the rules yet. Dr. Phi explained the tablecloth will be removed, and the banner in one of the 2 colors will indicate whose color. Raviolo dozes off just enough to miss the most important rule's conclusion. He was able to make up the fuzziness into the words the color shown. A tense silence grips the group. Some contestants hesitate, but fear of defying the game keeps them moving. Slowly, one by one, they begin to consume their meal. The sound of spoons scraping jelly. The fizz of soda being cracked open. The forced gulps of those trying to swallow their anxiety. Then, FWIP. The white tablecloth beneath the platters is yanked away in an instant. The dishes, food, and drinks all remain perfectly still, defying gravity. Raviolo focusus. Then, the real horror sets in. Raviolo freezes mid-sip. His jelly was black. His soda was black. Around him, the realization spreads like wildfire. Those who had red jelly and red soda started to panic. Their hands shake. Some instinctively try to vomit. Too late. Dr. S. voice returns, eerily cheerful. Ah, the joys of mystery meals. I'm afraid those who chose poorly. Well, let's just say this was your last supper. Then it begins. One by one, the poison players start convulsing. Some cough violently, gasping for breath. Others slump forward, their bodies going limp. The lucky ones die instantly. The unlucky ones? They struggle, eyes bulging, hands clawing at their throats, before finally succumbing. Raviolo watches as half the remaining contestants, 32 people, collapse lifelessly. He grips the table edge to steady himself. His mind races. Was it the jelly or the soda that was poisoned? Or did it take both for the poison to activate? He'd never know. Only now does Raviolo truly see it, a red line beneath the glass. Not decoration. A verdict. Black was never poisoned. Dr. S.'s voice cuts through the silence once more. Well done, survivors. You've developed a taste for victory. Only 32 of you remain. And trust me, the next course will be even deadlier. The table retracts into the ground, leaving nothing but the blood-stained cobblestones of the alleyway. A set of doors creaks open. Behind them, the alley remains silent, except for the faint fizz of unopened cans still rolling across the blood-stained ground. After surviving the poisoned banquet, the contestants are guided through a maze of dim corridors beneath London until they reach a quiet chamber unlike any before it. No flashing lights. No industrial machinery. No roaring crowds. Just silence. At the center of the room sits a low lacquered table beneath a hanging lamp. Resting atop it is a pristine deck of Hanafuda cards. Red petals are painted across the walls, black ink drips like vines from the ceiling. Raviolo immediately notices the atmosphere is different. More personal. More deliberate. Dr. Phi enters slowly, applauding. Luck is boring, wouldn't you agree? He gestures toward the cards. This round, we play something elegant. 2 contestants are selected at random to participate directly in the game. One represents red. The other represents black. The remaining 30 contestants must predict the winner by standing beneath illuminated red or black lanterns surrounding the room. This time, however, the rules are fully explained in advance. The duelists will play a condensed version of Hanafuda, requiring memory, pattern recognition, and strategy. The audience watches every move projected onto giant overhead screens. For the first time in the competition, survival is determined by skill, not blind chance. Raviolo chooses red. The match begins quietly. Cards snap against the table with sharp wooden clicks. The contestants barely breathe. At first, the game seems impossible to follow, but gradually the tension becomes universal. Everyone understands one thing: someone here is about to die because of another person's mistake. The black player begins aggressively, building combinations quickly. Raviolo stays calm, patient, calculating several turns ahead. Dr. Phi watches with fascination. The room grows hotter. Sweat forms on brows. Some contestants begin second-guessing their own choices. Then comes the final draw. Silence. Raviolo places his last card down. For lights with rain. Victory. The red lanterns glow warmly. The black lanterns abruptly shut off. At first, nothing happened. Then the floor beneath the black side unlocks with a heavy metallic clunk. The losing contestants look down. Too late. The entire black section tilts backwards violently, sending contestants sliding into what appears to be darkness, until hidden ultraviolet lights flicker on below. A massive underground chamber. Thousands upon thousands of razor-sharp Hanafuda cards spin through the air inside industrial turbine fans, slicing anything that enters. The screams barely last seconds. Cards flutter upward afterward like confetti. Red flower petals drift from the ceiling simultaneously, as though celebrating the victory. Only 16 contestants remain. The smell of blood still hangs in the air from the Hanafuda duel. Beneath the tilted floor, the industrial fans continue spinning, occasionally launching torn cards back upward through the chamber like grotesque confetti. The contestants barely have time to recover before alarms sound once again. The tilted floor slowly resets. Dr. Phi reappears, smiling wider than before. You didn't think we were done with the flowers yet, did you? The overhead lights dim, revealing a massive transparent dome suspended above the same death chamber. Inside it, Hundreds of Hanafuda cards swirl violently in cyclonic currents of air, red cards and black cards mix together chaotically. 2 contestants are selected again. Raviolo is chosen for red. A nervous contestant named Elias is assigned black. Dr. Phi explains the game with theatrical delight. Inside the dome are cards of both colors. Gather cards matching your assigned color to earn points. Touch your opponent's color, and your team loses 1 point. The remaining contestants must once again choose a side, red or black. The supporters stand beneath glowing colored lights surrounding the arena floor. The game lasts 60 seconds. The losing color? Dr. Phi glances toward the still spinning chamber below. Everyone understands immediately. Raviolo and Elias gather round the trapdoor with their fishing rods. Fans roar to life. Instantly, the cards erupt into motion, slamming against the walls like a tornado of razor-edged paper. A countdown appears overhead. 60, Raviolo lunges forward, snatching a red card from the air. +1 red flashes on the scoreboard. Elias grabs 2 black cards in quick succession. +2 black. The spectators scream from below, desperately trying to encourage their chosen side. The cards become harder to catch as the wind speed increases. Raviolo reaches for another red card, but accidentally brushes a black one. Black +1 red -1. Dr. Phi laughs over the speakers. Careful now. Every mistake costs lives. The pressure mounts. Cards slice across their arms and faces, leaving shallow cuts. Blood flicks through the air alongside the paper storm. 30 seconds remaining. The scores remain nearly tied. Raviolo changes strategy. Instead of chasing cards wildly, he studies the airflow patterns inside the dome, predicting where the red cards will spiral next. One after another, he catches them cleanly. Red +1 red +1 red +1 black begins falling behind. Elias panics, grabbing recklessly. Twice he catches red cards by mistake. Black -2. The buzzer blares. Time's up. Final score, red, 14 black, 9. The dome roars again. Raviolo collapses onto the floor, breathing heavily. Below, the contestants standing behind the black trapdoor slowly realize what comes next. Some beg. Some scream. Some simply stare downward in numb silence. Dr. Phi raises a hand dramatically. Wrong color. He suddenly pushes the contestants onto the other trapdoor. The losing contestants are dropped directly into the chamber below. The turban fans roar louder. The storm of spinning Hanafuda cards consumes them instantly. Blood sprays upward against the transparent walls of the pit beneath the contestants' feet. Red flower petals begin falling from the ceiling once more. Only 8 contestants remain. Raviolo stares at the dome overhead, now slowly filling with fresh cards for whatever nightmare comes next. For the first time since arriving in London, he notices something terrifying about Dr. Phi. He isn't just running the games anymore. He's enjoying them. Chapter 4. The stage. After the Hanafuda trials, the remaining 8 are escorted through a final corridor beneath London. The walls feel familiar now, too familiar. Raviolo recognizes the architecture before anyone else does. The reinforced server tunnels. The biometric locks. The layered security grids. His facility. His own system. Dr. Phi walks ahead casually, as if invited. Now this. This is where it gets interesting. The doors open. Inside is Raviolo's main operations hub, screens, terminals, monitoring systems, encrypted backups of everything that has ever happened in the games. But something is wrong. The lights are already on. Without warning, Raviolo's own operatives move in. Not hesitant. Not confused. Organized. Armed. Coordinated. They attack the remaining contestants immediately, treating them like intruders. Confusion erupts. Raviolo shouts for them to stop, but no one listens. Then, a slow applause echoes from the far end of the room. Dr. Gamma steps forward. "You've done well, Raviolo." He tilts his head, almost proud. "You completed your end of the arrangement." Raviolo freezes. "Now I collect mine." Dr. Phi turns slightly, amused but silent. Dr. Gamma continues. "You built the system. You stabilized the infrastructure. You made it possible to run the game at scale." He smiles. "Now I destroy you." Before anyone can react, Dr. Gamma activates a device. The entire facility fractures, not physically, but conceptually. Walls glitch. Screens bleed into each other. Gravity flickers like a corrupted file. Then, the remaining contestants, including Raviolo, are ripped through space without warning. A beach. Sunlight. Screaming. A contestant lands in a swimming pool mid-game state. A quiet street. Normal life. A contestant crashes through a bus stop sign. People scream. Reality does not explain itself. A shopping center food court. One contestant appears inside a vending machine. The machine dispenses chaos. No air. No sound. Two contestants float in silence for exactly 3 seconds before being pulled away again. A flash of heat. Immediate system rejection. Reality itself refuses to keep them there. Colorful walls. Tiny chairs. Drawings of smiling suns. A contestant lands mid-story time. The teacher calmly continues reading. No one acknowledges the blood. Everything collapses into white static. Raviolo feels himself being pulled through layers of unfinished space. Dr. S' voice follows him through every jump. "You thought this was a game, Raviolo. It was a framework. And now I remove the architect." The teleportation stops. No arena. No facility. No contestants. Just